Okay, today, members of the Troy Police Department returned to Montrose Township this morning to continue the search for Patrick Mikes Sr. A body believed to be that of Mr. Mikes was found several feet inside the edge of a cornfield on Morris Road, about a half-mile north of Lake Road. A bike matching the description of the bike being searched for was found about 15 feet away from the body. The body was not buried, it was above ground, tossed in the cornfield. Family members of the Mikes family have been notified. Troy Police evidence technicians are processing the scene as we speak, along with members of the Oakland County Medical Examiner's Office. Confirmation on the identification of the body will be determined by the Oakland County Medical Examiner's Office. Yesterday's exhaustive search, in which numerous members of the press, many of you that are here, participated in, was ended at approximately 7:30 p.m. A search team that night was within about 30 feet of the body when we called for the termination of that search. I was one of those persons, as was one of the members that's sitting in this audience today. So we were that close when we finally called it a night last night after about a 13 or 14-hour day. That same day, all members of the press, many of you which are here today, were invited to attend. Many of you entered and were invited into the command center to view the map of the 25 square mile area of which we had designated as the search zone. You could see then all the markings on the map of the areas of which we had searched and that were going to be searched, and those that were marked off for future searches. We don't have to do that anymore. We would like, from the police department, to personally thank the citizens of Montrose Township, the Montrose Police and Fire Departments, for all their helps in locating Mr. Mikes. The citizens of Montrose Township provided numerous tips to us that we followed up on during our efforts yesterday and today that helped us. We had began searching for Mr. Mikes when he was reported missing. When we recently arrested and charged Patrick Mikes Jr. with murder, we did not give up our search for his father. We continued to search for Mr. Mikes because it was the right thing to do. The Troy Police Department thanks the other departments that assisted us in the investigation. It clearly would not have been possible without all their help. At this point, all other questions about this case after today should be directed to the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office, as the case will now be theirs. I would like to personally thank all of you, the members of the press. You have been wonderful throughout this. You have been patient with me. You have continuously called me and were gracious in not yelling at me for not taking all the calls all the time. I apologize for that. But you've been very good. You have helped us. We have given you the opportunity to help us, and it seemed to work out very well together. That's all I have for that. I'll take some questions that I can answer. The rest, after today, will be further to the prosecutor's office.
What kind of injuries did it appear?
I'm not going to make any comment as to the state of the body. I don't think it's appropriate at this time.
What time did you find the body?
Today, we found it approximately 11 a.m.
Will you say where you found it again?
It was on Morris Road, about a half-mile north of Lake Road, about 15 feet into the edge of a cornfield.
Do we know why it was in that location in particular, why you guys were even zeroing in on that area?
As I stated, many of you that were present yesterday and took the advantage to look at the map, our search map that we had up, 25 square miles. You can see how we had marked off everything we had searched. You can see the areas that we were searching yesterday. This was part of the area that we were searching yesterday that we had to finish up on. You can see we didn't zero in on any particular area. We literally searched 25 square miles, and in the end, we were successful.
Captain, can you talk about the number of people and the resources you had out during the search?
Like I said, we had so many police departments yesterday. I think we counted 17 different entities that helped us. I think we added up about 11 different press agencies that represented us and actually were out there on foot helping us. That was huge. I don't think we've ever done that before since I've been here. It worked out well. Yes.
Captain, how many days has it been since the body's been out there?
We believe it was probably put there on Saturday, the day before it was reported missing.
2 weeks?
I don't remember the dates, I'm sorry, I don't have that. Anybody have it?
Captain, would you know why the suspect chose that particular area for the body there?
That would be speculative on my point. I would say that it was within about 2 miles of where we had 2 people identify the car that matches the description of Patrick Mike Jr.'s car as being cruising up and down their street very slowly. So we were pretty much zeroed in on the right area.
I'm just asking because if you found any sort of a family connection, maybe they camped there or something, so why would you?
Not that I'm aware of.
Captain, has Mike Jr. been cooperating at all in terms of trying to locate his father's body?
Mike Jr. has retained an attorney, and there's been no conversation with him since the Sunday of the day of the report.
Captain, what does this mean for your case now? Obviously, this is a major component now. You don't have a corpus delicti kind of a case, but you have now discover what you believe is the victim. And in terms of dealing with the family and closure for them, can you comment on those elements?
I think that's the point I was trying to make when we said, I think at the last time I talked, we talked about how we worked extremely hard to overcome the extremely high burden it requires to have a warrant issued for a homicide in which you don't have a body. We met that burden. We had a warrant issued. The judge reviewed all the evidence. He signed that warrant. We committed all our resources to get to that point, which would give us a solid case. We did not need that body in order to continue, but nor could we ignore the fact that a body did probably exist. We were not going to give up searching for that body, like I said, because it was the right thing to do.
Was the body closed?
I can't comment on the condition of the body. I will not.
How far away was the bike from the body?
Approximately 15 feet.
Was any damage done to the bike at all, or was it in pretty good condition?
It matched the description of the bike that Mr. Mikes had.
So is it your working theory in this, and is that you still believe the actual murder happened in the basement of their home, and then he just disposed the body there? How would you describe that?
I'm going to put that kind of question off to the prosecutor's office at a point in time. That's beyond the scope of this press conference.
Are you willing to put out any sort of motive at this time, or is it still too early?
No, like I said, I'm done discussing the facts of the case, I would think.
In other words, the reason I asked that, Captain, there's no indication that the scene of the murder changes up to Genesee County. It's still here.
Clearly, the scene of the altercation was in the basement of the home.
But what about where the actual murder happened?
I think we described it before as that whatever happened in that basement.
And at this time, you've completely ruled out any other help, or he didn't have anybody else helping him to get that body out there or anything like that?
That part of the investigation will continue. So far, there's no evidence to indicate that there was anybody else involved. But we have not ruled completely that out yet.
Captain, as the investigation goes on, have you established a motive? There's been a lot of suggestion that this was a dispute over money.
Not that I'm aware of. Anything else? One more? None?
And, how long will it take to positively ID the body? Was it decomposed enough? You got to do dental records like we've seen in the past?
Like I said, I'm not going to comment on the condition.
Any idea how long it might take?
That would be a question for the medical examiner's office to take.
They haven't given you any indication?
They're still on the scene processing everything. Okay? That's it. Thank you. I really appreciate you all coming. Thank you.